Hey everybody, I'm gonna do a update before I button up the new KLR. I'm gonna explain this picture in just a second. Let me get into frame here. I don't know if you guys can see me. I hope you can. So here's Adventure Vin, and I'm about ready to wrap up the second KLR on Gen 1. Before I get into the main part of this video, which is just going to be a brief overview of many of the things that we had done to get this one on the road. And then I'll do some individual videos where I speak specifically more about some of the nuances. But I just want to give a quick shout out. Thanks so much to my buddy Greg and my buddy Hector, who without their help, I probably wouldn't have gotten this far on the KLR. A lot of times you need a set of 2 hands, sometimes 3 hands, a set of 3 eyes, being 6 eyes altogether helps to see different things. But thanks a lot to Greg and Hector for spending their time here a few times to help me get this back on the road. I couldn't have done without their guys' help because it does get exhausting and frustrating. Let me talk about this picture really quick. My birthday is coming up in the month of April. Today's April 7th, Sunday, April 7th. We're heading out to Arizona tomorrow to do this off-road thing. I'm going to leave you a link to what we're doing next week. Me and Greg are going out to Bisbe, Arizona and doing some back roads riding and some training things. That's going to be cool too. But let me switch around and show you guys this picture. So my birthday is coming up in April, and this is a picture. If any of you follow my Facebook, and I think it's like, I'll put a link down, but this is actually a rendition of my Facebook picture, which I'm not on a lot, but I do all my still photos on it, and I believe it's like KLR Adventures USA, but I'll put a link. But this picture is the picture that's on it. My very good friend Edna out in Colorado, and that light, I hate when the light does that to me, but she took that picture, took it to her tattoo artist, and the tattoo artist did a rendering. Now this is really, really close. What you're seeing here is when I started riding back in 2017, 2018. I like the idea. He was able to pick up like the Scorpion and the US 66, which there's the US 66. I got Scorpions on both sides. There's a Scorpion there, and there's a Scorpion on this side. And then I guess I do have my US flag. I thought that was gone. But my US flag here in the picture, there's the US flag there. It's right there. One thing, he did a really good job on picking up some of the nuances of the KLR. Like, that's indicative of the original KLR hand grips, although I swapped them out for those and some other things. But I just love this. I just love this picture. I love the creativity behind it. But I guess I can talk more about that later. Oh, I got to tell you about the location of this. This is actually in California, right on the Colorado River when you cross over from Arizona to Colorado on Route 66. I found an abandoned part that was traveling alongside the railroad. And in the actual picture right here, you see a piece of blacktop that says Route 66 on it. That's what I'm doing. I'm acknowledging the Route 66. But the rest of it was all dirt roads. And the place where this exactly was at, it's not on any map, tour book, anything anymore, because it's such an old part of Route 66. You could really only get out there, possibly on a dual sport or a enduro or a dirt bike. Literally, that's how unimproved this road is. That's probably why it's not in any guidebooks or maps, because it just doesn't really show. It's not, you can't drive on it. You just can't. Let me put this down. I don't want it to break, but thank you so much. And I love it. Love it. It's going to go in a special part of my wall, up probably my Route 66 collections. So let me get back to the bike real quick and show you some of the things that we did. I should probably start on the fuel tank that's right behind me. So one thing that Greg and I have done, we took out the petcock. Is this a good way to see it? There's gas in this. I have to fumble around. So we actually put in a different petcock that only has one port that goes to the carburetor itself. It doesn't have that secondary port on it, and I'm not really getting a good image of it. I see if I can find the stock one. So I swapped that out. I'll probably talk more specifically about that. A couple of things I still need to do. I'm gonna connect some of these loose wires you see here. One's a battery charger, was a jumper cable area. I got some camera stuff I got to hook up. But starting with the front wheel, so brand new. I think these are 606s, Dunlop 606s. Yeah. And like we're going to do a lot of off-roading, so I put the more aggressive knobbies back on. This is a larger disc brake. This was something that Hector had found. He had on his KLR when he had a KLR. Talk more about it maybe in a different video. You have to put this extension bar on it. It gives you a larger diameter, more braking space. the original, have a couple sets of wheels. That's the original front one there. It's a smaller diameter. I am keeping, I got a total of 3 sets of wheels now, long story. So I am keeping 2 sets. One's going to be a more aggressive set, which is going to correlate with my gearing I'm going to talk about in just a moment, but with the heavier duty knobbies. And then these are, I think these are my Head Now Scout tires. Yeah, on this one. And this is when I'm doing more of road traveling, so I don't chew up the knobbies. We did use my forks off of my first KLR because we had redid the fork seals and redid the oil and everything, and they have progressive springs in them. So I took off, these are from my original KLR, which are in better condition, put them on these. I put the Eagle mic, actually Hector helped me do that, Eagle mic brace on it. This is my original plastics. Of course, I got the guard. If you are considering, and I'll say this 100 times, if I don't say it 1,000 times, whatever, but if you are considering getting into the KLR as a starter bike, my recommendation, get a Gen 3. This is a Gen 1 2007. Get yourself a Gen 3. They're affordable, brand new. You're not going to have any seizing issues with bolts or nuts. No one's going to, you're not going to have to fight someone to put red Loctite on there instead of the blue. But yeah, you just deal with this. I like this character of a bike. I dig the fact that Edna got me that painting, and I'm actually still riding a Gen 1 KLR today. So some of the things I did, Cyclops halogen bulb by the company Cyclops is in here, makes it brighter. I added these. This is all from my other KLR, nothing really new here. These aren't Tusk, these are Happy Trails crash bars with the Happy Trails skid plate down here, and I did the highway pegs also. I don't have the tank or seat on. Anyone who's taken this apart knows that's no big deal. I'll throw the tank and seat on. I bolted all my configuration. It looks kind of chaotic now, but it'll clean it up. That's all my RAM mount stuff. Motorcycle GPS. This holds my phone. This holds a Garmin satellite GPS here. And then I have another power port that will be seen. I wanted to leave this off so I can show you guys a few things. We did discontinue or took off the emission package California State requires. The emission tubings, I don't even know where they went. They're back here. This stuff here, these tubings, ran right through on top of the battery, like into these ports and stuff. And it really blocked, took up a lot of the space I would have to use for some of my electrical accessories. I will keep it, but being a Washington State resident, that is not required. So I'd rather have the space. And I discontinued the emission package, which I'm going to bolt that off today, a couple of screws. And this is the last piece I'm going to take off. I'm going to route the wires. I just left it all exposed. I'm going to do a really nice clean job. Zip tie, route the wires down through here, get them all connected, throw the tank back on, no big deal. Seat, no big deal. I did go ahead and buy a new seat pad. I prefer, this is what I rode. This is what about 30,000 miles. My butt has been on that little, my wife got me my original one. I had to replace it. The original one I'll show you in a second. It just got kind of beat up, but $29. My beat up one is over here. This is what I had. And it's much thinner now, dirty, just all the foam and all the stuff is worn out. But I really enjoyed this seat. I don't like a saddle. I like more of a seat where I can get up on the pegs and it's as narrow as possible. So I did get that. Boxes on the back. That's a Seahorse box. I've had some questions about the Seahorse box. This is my Tusk luggage carrier back here. One thing I wanted to discuss, and I hope I get the numbers right, is that what I did, this is an Eagle mic sprocket retaining bolt. I did put the crush washer on from the retaining washer, not necessarily called a crush washer, but these are the special washers that you bend down over the lip to hold the bolt on. But this is an Eagle mic one. The other one was really old. I have it around here somewhere. I should probably dig it out. Put a new sprocket, new chain, and new sprocket back here. The chain link is a 502. Let me hold on real quick. It's a 520 chain. 520 chain is the type of chain. The KLR requires 106 links. There are 105 links to the chain itself. Your master link makes that last link, making it 106. So that's the new chain. Here's the old sprocket. Now the sprocket ratio stock, I believe it's 15. So I can run it. I have the numbers on the outside. Hold on. Okay, the numbers were on the outside, and this wheel behind me is killing me. The numbers are on the outside, but that crush washer, that bent washer, is covering it. But you had a 15 tooth in the front, and I want to say a 43 in the back stock. 43. So that's stock. 43 in the back, 15 in the front. And this is how it comes stock. This is how I'm going to write it when I get into the dirt, slower speeds. For the gearing, and there's a significant difference. I didn't think I'd be able to tell, but I do. But when I go on the highways, I'm going to take this 15 and bump up a tooth to 16. So it's going to be one tooth more in the front. And then this back one, I'm going to drop it, I think 1 or 2, make this a 40 or 41. I got another side of the garage. I'll talk more in specifics about that later. I do have an issue with the kickstand. I don't know why. I'm going to have to take off my older one. This kickstand's a little bit shorter for some reason. Maybe looks like somebody might have cut it and welded it right here. I don't know. But because I put the stock dog bones back on, someone had put lowering links, but these are the stock dog bones. I put those stock dog bones back on, raises the bike higher. I'm a taller dude, and this short kickstand is going to make it lean extremely to my left. And I'm not going to like that. But I did put my new progressive shock in the middle. See that one there? That's from my other KLR. What else did I do to this guy? Now, when I talked about the petcock on the other one, this is what I'm talking about. This is where your valve control thing is. The top one is taken from your main tank, and then this is what actually makes it a reserve tank, is that when it stops, when the fuel level drops below that level, it tells you only got so much, and then you switch it over to that, and that will drain the rest. But as you see, this one has 2 ports, one there, and then one with this black hose on it. This black hose goes to the top of the carburetor, which is this now on this one, but we just put a bolt in there, and we cut that off. It's like an airflow or something. I don't know, but we were having issues with it on my first KLR. We discontinued it, and that worked. And this one is actually the fuel one. So this one, when I get the tank on, that's going to go into what the fuel is going to flow through and feed the carburetor there in that location. But this top one, we just sealed off so it doesn't suck any additional air. I don't think there's anything much about that. We put my other more aggressive knobby in the back. And like I said, this is just going to be a brief overview. I'll go show you the carcass of the... Oh, let me tell you this really quick. Let me tell you this. Okay, so for... Maybe I won't go... I'm sitting on everything. I'm sorry, guys. So one thing I wanted to discuss. So this Eagle mic one, if you do get it, you're going to have to jump up to a 30. I recommend the impact socket, 6 sides, 30. And that's what you're going to have to do to if you get the Eagle mic replacement, right? Is a 30. The stock one, this one was just beat up. I did not want that one on there. The stock one is a 27, 6 side. So the stock one, you're going to have to take off with a 27. But if you go with the Eagle mic, you're going to have to go a little bit bigger. I played with this for a little bit, and here's the original washer that was on there. And the idea, because of the torque, this slips over some teeth, and then you bend it back over, you lip it over one of the sides of the bolt. That'll keep it from spinning off. It just kind of locks it in. You could reuse those, but this was so beat up, I wasn't going to reuse it. And Eagle mic advertises that you don't even need it with this nut. And how I played around with it, once we popped this one loose, I just got it with fingers. And with your fingers, you can actually thread this all the way down and seat it against the this little bendable washer. But with the Eagle mic one, which doesn't really need it necessarily, when I started rolling it down with my fingers, there gets a part where it gets kind of tense and tight. I guess the engineering of the threads grips it tighter. Someone watching this video may know more about that than I do. And this is an example. If you do not use the Eagle mic one, the only place I could find these new locking washers is on eBay. There are some aftermarket ones, but I found a couple on eBay. But that's what you're going to have to order. Maybe, I don't know, go through Kawasaki. Maybe you'll find something. I don't know. But I have an extra one, and I just put a clean one on there. But that's about it. I'm not going to... I have a couple other shifting levers. I'm not going to deal with that. I'm probably forgetting a few things. Here. So this is the old Sprocket. This was an original one. This bike had 14,000 miles on it, and I could tell that this was stock. See these rubber buffing things? buffer, whatever these things are. I've never seen those on replacement sprockets. They don't have them. I guess it just tries to give it a quieter ride or something to that effect. I'm not sure. I think there was a couple other things. Oh, here's an old sprocket. I got so many parts back here. I can't tell you which one this went on, which one it came off. But the dimensions of this one, the dimensions of this sprocket is a stock one. It should say 43. This is a very old one. It should say 43 somewhere on it. I just don't want to waste time. The teeth aren't in bad shape, but I wanted to, start clean. One thing about buying a used motorcycle, guys, and I'm not the best at it, so I'm not saying, I avoid it because I did everything right. That's for sure. But one thing I will say is, I don't know whether I think I threw them out, but when we changed the brake pads, we just took it out. And one thing this person did, they used a lot of Loctite red. Using Loctite red is something that you never intend to ever back off again. That's set for life. It's a pain to get off. So use the blue Loctite if anything. But his back brake pads were really, really low, really, really low. So I was going to keep them to show you guys an example. But I had so much garbage going on back there, I had to start throwing stuff out, so I don't know where they went. They're probably in the trash. But it was good to overhaul this bike as best we could. Of course, oil change, whatnot. Oil filter change. I run a K&N air filter. If anybody has a question about K&N air filters, please ask. And if I'm skipping over something and someone says, hey, back up, what did you do with that or the other thing, ask. I will point this out, and I've had it in another long time video. This is where your fuse is to your fan. So when I might do another one, but if you look up one of my older videos where I talk about overheating and fan fuse, that's where your fuse is. And if you're overheating on your KLR Gen 1, check your fan. If your fan's not engaging, I guarantee you, get into your fuse box, and it sits right on the outside of the fuel tank, and you have access to those little vent holes of your plastic fairing. I think I was going to say one more thing. K&N air filter. You got your fuses that sit in here. For the rest of your fuses will be sitting in here. We did change the spark plug out since we had the tank off. Went ahead and changed the spark plug out, put some anti-seize on that. And that's about it, guys. And put these back on, new grips. So let's walk over real quick and I'll show you. Well, this is one of my longest videos. I'll show you the Carcass. This is my daughter's DR200. She's up at college right now, but hopefully. I'm pulling all my camping stuff out for the Arizona trip. Check the link below. I'll give you an idea what we're doing out in Arizona this next week. And moment of silence for, this is the original Adventure Vin KLR. The Carcass is left. This is the one that had the blown engine. Oh, can't take it off. Yeah, nope. I can't take the engine cover off, but if you go back to that video where it says catastrophic engine failure, this is the bike that it was. I'm going to harvest a few more parts off of this baby and put them in boxes. And I'm going to have to probably take off this kickstand probably today because it is longer than the one that's on the one that's in the garage. But as you see, there's not much left of my original KLR. Not much left at all. Learned a lot along the process. Once again, I would highly recommend if anyone is looking at getting into the Kawasaki adventure bike riding. I wouldn't necessarily call it a dual sport because it's a heavier bike. I always tell people, if my plans are that my wheels never leave the ground. I don't want my wheels leaving the ground. I'm not that adventurous. But look into the, I believe some of the nuances. I don't know a lot about the Gen 3, but one different thing, I believe there was a suspension upgrade, fuel injected, Gen 1 and Gen 2 are carburetor. I believe there was something also with their brakes. I think Gen 2, they started with the anti-lock brakes or something. Even with the Gen 2, there was a discussion. Why does this light keep going on? There was a discussion on, did the Gen 3 remedy the doohickey issue? And the jury's still out on that. Nobody has really had confirmed that. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I say doohickey, just punch in KLR doohickey, and believe me, thousands of videos will show up. On that note, I have not done mine on this motorcycle yet. Probably won't until I put a few more miles on it. But hey guys, got to get to it. Button this baby up. Get ready for heading out to Bisbe, Arizona tomorrow. Check the link below. I might try to add a picture of that Route 66 rendition of my friend did, the tattoo artist. And then check the link below for the Bisbe trip. It's going to be their link. It's going to be them on explaining what we're going to experience. And then, of course, when we get out to Bisbe, I'll be doing a couple of shots and stuff like that. Like, subscribe, get out there and ride. And if motorcycle riding is not your passion, whatever makes you happy, believe me, working on motorcycles, I'm 55 years old. I didn't start riding a motorcycle until I was about 46, 47 years old. I wouldn't know how to ride it, would never even dream of working on it, but this has been a real joy. My next stage of life is riding and working on the KLR Gen 1. All right, everyone, have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. And once again, please, please, please ask questions if I went too fast over an aspect that you guys were wanting to know more of. Bye.